So I'm about to record a YouTube video that's kind of off the cuff, but it's going to be paced kind of weird because I fully intend to convert this into a TikTok/YouTube short. So I'm going to be talking different than I usually do out of necessity. So I found a piece of Shrek merchandise that is so rare and obscure that it actually reflects poorly on the entire franchise. Here's what you need to know. After McDonald's released the Happy Meal, many different restaurants in America tried to introduce their own version of that idea to varying different levels of success and failure. But one very interesting story is a French exclusive burger chain called Quick, which had their own Happy Meal line in the early 2000s. I recently had the opportunity to import a bunch of these toys, and they're really cool. Of course, I had to go ahead and get these exclusive Garfield Halloween toys. These are not only very beautiful sculpts, but they each feature unique play features, which makes them very unique additions to my collection. But these are not what have inspired me to make this video, because instead, we are going to be talking about the Shrek 2 meal from Quick restaurants. If you went to Quick during this campaign, you could get one of 4 figures: a Shrek toy, a Donkey toy, a Puss in Boots toy, or a Fiona toy. This is one of the coolest, most interesting Shrek toys that you could possibly own. And the reason is kind of sad. A lot of people make the mistake of believing that the first Shrek film is vaguely making fun of every single Disney princess movie with no specific target in mind. But in my opinion, the film stands as a direct rebuttal to one specific movie: Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast has such beautiful animation, it has this fantastic score that can't be beat, and thematically, it is incoherent at times. The recurring theme that characters should look for inner beauty and look past outside appearances is constantly ruined by the fact that the reward for doing such things is gaining exterior beauty, which then comes with acceptance by society. The Beast turning back into a sexy prince at the end of the film has been heavily controversial among critics from the moment it came out, and because of that, Shrek directly subverts this. At the end of the film, Fiona as an ogre has the opportunity to turn back into a human, and it doesn't work. She kisses Shrek, and she takes true love's form, but she stays an ogre. And she says, "I want it to be beautiful." And Shrek does not say, "Oh, you're beautiful on the inside," or "your heart shines through." He says,
"You are beautiful."
And I think this is still a pretty impressive ahead of its time moment, especially considering that when you look at Fiona, she has a body type that is not really that irregular in the real world. And I think it's pretty cool that the film ends by saying that if you're a woman and you look like Fiona as an ogre, you are still beautiful, and that you shouldn't let people tell you that you're not. The problem is that they then turned around and refused to make a toy of Ogre Fiona. Now, obviously in the first film this made sense because they were worried about spoilers, but for the second film there's really no excuse. Which means that the only way to get a proper scaled, posable Fiona action figure is to import a Happy Meal toy from France. And I just think that represents a major disappointment in how the themes of Shrek were realized by the corporate minds at the time. But at least now I can say that I have a properly scaled Fiona to go with my Shrek figure. Alright, I've been Quentin Re2s, and that's all you need, folks. Like I said, I'm really hoping I can cut that down into a YouTube short, because I think this is interesting, and I want to be famous for talking about toys. I like toys. That's all you need.